आकर अली की तेग के जौहर दिखाओ अब, आकर अली की तेग के जौहर दिखाओ अब, मैदान करबला को बढ़ा इंतज़ार है, मैदान करबला को बढ़ा इंतज़ार है। तलवार जब चलेगी तो आवाज़ आएगी, तलवार जब चलेगी तो आवाज़ आएगी, दस्ते खुदा है और वही जुल्फ़े ख़ार है, दस्ते खुदा है और वही जुल्फ़े ख़ार है। खुरान ज़ुबान हाल से कह दे अजब नहीं, खुरान ज़ुबान हाल से कह दे अजब नहीं, ये आखिरी सहीफ़े परवरदिगार है, ये आखिरी सहीफ़े परवरदिगार है। जीते हैं एतबार मोहब्बत पर हम सईद, जीते हैं एतबार मोहब्बत पर हम सईद, अपनी तो जिंदगी का यही शाहकार है, अपनी तो जिंदगी का यही शाहकार है। हर मंजरे हयात निगाहों पर बार है। सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद।
Mu'minin, there is a lot of space up in the front here, so please move forward. There will be a lot of people coming and we would not like to disturb anybody when they are coming in. So please move forward. There is a lot of space up in the front here. Please move forward. Ahsant. Habib Khuda Khatamin Anbiya Bawaz Buland Salawat. Nare Salawat. If you can please turn on the mic, the small mic, please. Thank you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي لا يبلغ مدحته القائلون ولا يحصي نعماه العادون ولا يؤدي حقه المجتهدون، الذي بعد فلا يرى وقرب فشهد النجوى تبارك وتعالى. والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء وخاتم المرسلين وشفيع المذنبين سيدنا ونبينا بالقاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. سيما على بقية الله في العرضين الحجة بن الحسن صلوات الله عليه وعلى آبائه، واللعنة الدائمة الباقية لأعدائهم ومنكر فضائلهم وغاصب حقوقهم من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه الكريم: إنما أنت منذر ولكل قوم حاد. صلوات عليه. It's indeed a very happy occasion for us to have gathered here for the first event, which is about the Wiladat of the Imam of our time, Al-Hujjat ibn al-Hasan, salawatullah alayhi. I would like to talk about the concept of imamat and ghaibat very briefly, because we are more in the mood of festivities and celebrations. Everybody is excited to go around and look at the center. But however, we have to realize that the day has been chosen to coincide with the Wiladat of the Imam of the time. And just to talk about his imamat and ghaibat, I just selected one hadith. But before I go to that one hadith, let me start with an introduction of identifying ourselves. When people ask us, who are we? We say we are Muslims. But that answer is not sufficient. The question would be, which kind of a Muslim you are? And so you will further explain by saying, I am a Shia Muslim. But then if the other person is more informed about the history of Islam, he will say, well, even the Shias are of different colors and different types. And so to further elaborate that situation and identify ourselves, we say we are Shia Isna Ashari Muslims. The term Isna Ashari, which identifies us, is actually the Arabic word from Isna Ashar, which means 12. And Isna Ashari means the 12 words, those who believe in the 12 Imams. And the last one we believe is the Imam, Hazrat Mohammed al Mahdi, salawatullah alayhi majma'een. According to the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never left this world without a hujjat. The term hujjat means somebody who represents Allah on this earth. He could be a Nabi, could be a Rasul, could be an Imam. And the word hujjat itself literally means proof. Means if on the day of Qiyamah somebody says, oh Allah, how could I believe in you? Because you didn't send anyone to guide me. That is when Allah will present the Imam or the Nabi or the Rasul of the time of that individual. And Allah will say, he is my hujjat. He is my proof against you. And this concept of having a hujjat is so fundamental to the Shia theology that we believe that Allah never left any community in the world without a hujjat. The ayat that I recited from Surah Ra'd, Surah number 13, ayat number 7, is the ayat where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses our Prophet and He says, إِنَّمَا أَنْتَ مُنْظِرٌ. O Muhammad, you are a warner. Your duty is to warn the people that if they do not believe in the message of Allah, they will be punished. وَلِكُلِّ قَوْمٍ حَادٍ. And Allah makes it very clear. This is a very general statement. every qawm, every community has a guide. So Allah has never left any community without a hujjat. We believe that the process of nubuwwat and imamat ended with the Prophet of Islam, but the concept of hujjat continued after him. We had one imam after another. It was Allah's choice to end the process at number 12. Why number 12? Well, it's his choice. Whatever number he would have fixed, still the question would have been why. And so there's no answer to that question, why 12? But Allah liked this number so much that He said, I'm going to prolong the life of the 12th hujjat after the Prophet of Islam, so that he will be the one who will establish the kingdom of God on this earth before the world comes to its end. Salawat pढ़ने एक बार और. His long life and then his occultation, his ghaibat, has amazed many people, perplexed many people. And I don't want to go into details of the long life at the moment. I'll just refer you to a very important booklet by the late Ayatollah Sayyid Mohammed Baqir al-Sadr al-Shaheed. He has written a booklet which is known as, in English translation, it is known as An Inquiry Concerning al Mahdi. Go and read that book. And there you will see that he discusses this concept of how is it possible for a person to live for that long. And he explains this from three perspectives. He talks about the possibility of a long life on a practical level, on a scientific level, and on philosophical level. But that's not the topic that I have for tonight. What I would like to do is very quickly go to a hadith that we have from Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salatu was-salam. And this is a hadith quoted by Sheikh Saduq. His time of his life is very important. He was born in Ghaibat al-Sughra of the Imam. So he's one of the earliest scholars of the Shia world. He narrates this hadith through his channels, going all the way to the 6th Imam, where the 6th Imam says that I heard from my father, the 5th Imam. And the 5th Imam says, I heard from my father, Ali Zainul Abidin. And the hadith actually is the hadith of the 4th Imam, where the Imam talks about the concept of the hujjat on 4 different levels. And we probably need, a whole ashara to talk about these 4 different levels of imamat. But we'll just go very briefly through this hadith, where Imam number 1 talks about the concept of imamat and leadership itself, where he says, نحن أئمة المسلمين وحجج الله على العالمين وسادة المؤمنين وقادة الغر المحجلين وموالي المؤمنين. He says, we the Imams of the Ahlul Bayt, we are the leaders of the Muslims, we are Allah's proof against the people, we are the chiefs of the believers and guides of the best of people, and we are masters of the mu'mineen. And then he goes to a higher level where he says, وَنَحْنُ أَمَانُ لِأَهْلِ الْأَرْضِ كَمَا أَنَّ النُّجُومَ أَمَانٌ لِأَهْلِ السَّمَاءِ. The Imam says that the Imams are actually safety, a means of safety for the people, just as the stars are the means of safety for the inhabitants of the heavens. Especially if you look at the function of these stars, people who travel in the sea, they know. One of the ways of knowing their direction is to look at the stars, especially the North Star. For them, the star becomes a guide when they are lost or when their equipments do not work. For us, when we face confusion of ideas and concepts in the world, in the wilderness of ideas, our guide is the Imam of the time, Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif. The third level of imamat, which is even a higher one, And I indulge your patience to go through it. I know we need more time to discuss about this issue, but this is the belief of the Shia faith, where the Imam says, نحن الذين بنا يمسك الله السماء أن تقع على الأرض إلا بإذنه. Imam says that we are the ones through whom Allah has held back the sky from falling on the earth. The sky would have fallen on the earth if it was not because of the Hujjat and the Imam of the time. وَبِنَا يُمْسِكُ الْأَرْضُ أَن تَمِيدَ بِأَهْلِهَا. And through us, Allah has, held the earth. He holds the earth from shaking violently. If it wasn't for the Imam of the time, the movement of the earth would not be stabilized. And then the Imam says, وَبِنَا يَنزِلُ الْغَيْثِ وَيَنْشُرُ الرَّحْمَةِ وَتُخْرَجْ بَرَكَاتُ الْأَرْضِ. He says, through us, Allah sends down the rain. He spreads out the mercy and exposes the treasures of the earth. Salawat pradhne ek baar aur. And then if you look at it on a spiritual level, the impact and the role of the Hujjat of Allah in a form of a Nabi or a Rasul or an Imam. The fourth Imam says, وَلَوْلَا مَا فِي الْعَرْضِ مِنَّا لَسَاخَتْ بِأَهْلِهَا. If the earth is devoid of a Hujjat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from us, the earth would sink with its inhabitants. The earth would not survive, it would not exist, but because of the Hujjat and the Imam of the time. Salawat pradhne ek baar aur. And now we come to the last part of the hadith where he talks about our present Imam. This is the fourth Imam, talking about the future. He says, وَلَمْ تَخْلُ الْعَرْض مُنْزَ خَلَقَ اللَّهُ آدَمَ مِنْ حُجَّةِ اللَّهِ فِيهَا. He says, the earth, from the day Allah created Adam, the earth was never without a Hujjat of Allah on it. Now that Hujjat could be of different types. He says, ظاهر مشهور أو غائب مستور. The Hujjat of Allah on this earth could either be visible and known to the people or hidden and concealed from the eyes of the people. He is talking about Imam Mahdi Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif. This is a hadith quoted by Sulaiman, a Rawi, from the sixth Imam, who quotes his grandfather, Imam Zain al-Abidin. So when the hadith ended there, the Rawi, the narrator, says to the sixth Imam, فَكَيْفَ يَنْتَفِعُ النَّاسِ بِالْحُجَّةِ الْغَائِبِ الْمَسْتُورِ. O Imam, your grandfather talked about the Hujjat of Allah. Either he could be Zahirun Mashhur, he is visible and known to the people, or he is hidden and concealed. And so the question is, how will the people benefit from the Hujjat of Allah, who is Ghaibun Mastur, who is hidden and concealed from the eyes of the people? And that is where the sixth Imam, talking about our time, he says, كَمَا يَنْتَفِعُونَ بِالشَّمْسِ إِذَا سَطَرَهَا الْإِحْسِحَابِ. People will still benefit from the Imam who is concealed, just as people benefit from the light of the sun, even though the clouds cover the sun. Salawat pradhne ek baar aur. The last statement of the sixth Imam is that he is comparing our Imam, who is Ghaib, like the sun, covered by the clouds. And it's interesting to see in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He describes our Prophet, He uses the words Sirajum Munir. Siraj means sun, Munir means the sun which gives light, with nur. And the sixth Imam is using the same kind of symbolism regarding Imam Ghaib. He says, just as, Quran says that the Prophet was the sun giving light, similarly, the Imam who will be in Ghaibat will be like the sun which is behind the clouds. There are three important similarities here from which that we can derive from this hadith between the sun and the Imam, our own Imam. Number one, the sun is the life source of the earth. Without the light of the sun, the earth will not survive. According to the hadith we had, if there was no hujjat of Allah, لَسَاخَتْ بِأَهْلِهَا, the earth will sink with its inhabitants. The second similarity we see is that the energy of the sun warms the earth, drives the weather and the climate system, and keeps us from freezing to death. And there will be no, food and vegetation if there was no sunlight, and we will perish. Similarly, we see in the hadith of the fourth Imam, the way he talks about the hujjat of Allah, the hujjat of Allah is actually the means of the existence of this dunya, the stability of the movement of this dunya, the rain which comes from the sky, and eventually even the existence of the earth depends on the existence of the hujjat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Finally, the third similarity is that the sun continues to shine even behind the clouds. Similarly, our Imam continues to guide even though he is in the state of occultation and the state of ghaibat. Salawat padhne ek baar aur. Two more important things that we can understand from this similarity in this hadith about the sun and the Imam. When we talk about the sun, we use this term, sunset. Do you think the term sunset is true scientifically? No. This is a false statement. The sun never sets. The description of the sun, when we say that the sun is setting in the evening, is a relative term. It is not the sun which is setting. It is our part of the earth which is turning away from the sun. The sun doesn't go down. Our earth is rotating and moving away from the direction of the light of the sun. So in reality, and even from the scientific point of view, there is no real sunset. This is actually not a true statement. This is a figurative speech, a relative term from our perspective on the earth. At that moment, at that time, when our earth rotates, moves away from the sunlight, we say this sun is setting. Actually, it's not the sun which is setting. Actually, the earth is moving away from the direction of the light of the sun. Similarly, when we look at the Imam, the guidance of the Imam is there. The nur of the Imam is there. Imam is not ghaib. The term ghaib for the Imam is a relative term. He is not ghaib. We move away from the guidance and the nur of the Imam. Ajjalallahu ta'ala farajul sharif. The sun, the sun continues to shine, even behind the clouds. The Imam is always there. And so when we talk about this concept of ghaibat, in reality, the ghaibat is not of the Imam, the ghaibat is ours. It is this earth which moves away from the sun. We have not elevated ourselves spiritually to a level where the veils from our face can be lifted so that we may be able to see the blessed face of Imam Zamana Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajul Sharif. The second point about the sun and the present Imam Is that when something is there for you, available, free all the time? People don't appreciate that. Sometimes they do not even realize the existence of something which is constantly present. How many of us every day thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the sun and the sunlight? Only when winter comes, only when it's cloudy, we remember the sun. But in summer, it's there. And sometimes, and this is what we see, sometimes, because of the constant presence of the sun, it becomes oblivious for us. We do not appreciate it. We do not sometimes even acknowledge the existence of the sun in our day. When we look at the Imam, the lutf of Imam, the grace of Imam, the blessing of the Imam is there. And because it is there all the time, sometimes we forget that the whole world, the universe exists because the Hujjat of Allah is alive. The day He is taken away from this dunya, the dunya will not even live for a day. Salawat padne ek baar aur. Look at this beautiful center that we have. And we are still waiting, inshallah. Allah will help us to complete whatever sections which are not yet complete. And even the way it looks, it's very beautiful. It creates a sense of pride in the community. And now that we have gathered for our program here, it is absolutely right that we know that this center could not have been built without the support of the many, many visible hands and resources. We know them, we thank them, we acknowledge their support. But I think sometimes we forget that behind all these visible sources which helped us in building this center, behind the parda of ghaibat, there was a hidden hand of the Imam of the time, Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif. Everything that exists because of him. It is his lot. Because Allah loves him, things happen in this dunya. Allah allows things to happen because He loves His own hujjat. Let me talk about something more visible in form of the blessing of the Imam of the time. Because sometimes, as I said, the sun is there, we benefit from the sunlight, but many times we take it for granted, we do not even appreciate that. Even in the building of this new center that we have, there is a visible form of blessing from the Imam of the time.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي لا يبلغ مدحته القائلون ولا يحصي نعماه العادون ولا يؤدي حقه المجتهدون الذي بعد فلا يرى وقرب فشهد النجوى تبارك وتعالى والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء وخاتم المرسلين وشفيع المذنبين سيدنا ونبينا بالقاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا سيما على بقية الله في العرضين الحجة بن الحسن صلوات الله عليه وعلى آبائه واللعنة الدائمة الباقية لأعدائهم ومنكر فضائلهم وغاصبهم
من أنبياء بآواز بلند صلوات. Nare Salawat. If you can please turn on the mic, the small mic, please. Thank you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان
आकर अली की तेग के जौहर दिखाओ अब, आकर अली की तेग के जौहर दिखाओ अब, मैदान करबला को बड़ा इंतज़ार है, मैदान करबला को बड़ा इंतज़ार है। तलवार जब चलेगी तो आवाज़ आएगी, तलवार जब चलेगी तो आवाज़ आएगी, दस्ते खुदा है और वही जुल्फ़े ख़ार है, दस्ते खुदा है और वही जुल्फ़े ख़ार है। खुरान ज़ुबान हाल से कह दे अजब नहीं, खुरान ज़ुबान हाल से कह दे अजब नहीं, ये आखिरी सहीफ़े परवरदिगार है, ये आखिरी सहीफ़े परवरदिगार है। जीते हैं एतबार मोहब्बत पर हम सईद, जीते हैं एतबार मोहब्बत पर हम सईद, अपनी तो ज़िंदगी का यही शाहकार है, अपनी तो ज़िंदगी का यही शाहकार है। हर मंज़रे हयात निगाहों पर बार है। सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद।
Mu'minin, there is a lot of space up in the front here, so please move forward. There'll be a lot of people coming and we would not like to disturb anybody when they are coming in. So please move forward. There is a lot of space up in the front here. Please move forward. Ahsant. Habib Khuda Khatib.